Hello, my name is Shelley, and welcome back for another episode of Victoria 3 as German Empire. In previous episode we got ourselves another colony down here in East Africa, which is actually now named the German East Africa. And yeah, we did actually take on the Russian debt, which did reduce our money pool a little bit, but we'll probably get that. Oh, there we go, the Lancers Ferry is actually progressing, so it's now on the stage 2 out of 3. So eventually we might actually pass that. Which means that we'll be making a whole lot more money, as we're not going to be doing as much stuff anymore. Oh, and there we go. The French did actually manage to win the war there. Huh. Well, good on them. Occitania is now a little bit smaller, and I think they got pushed out of the war down here. For whatever reason. Alright, and the stormtroopers are almost complete. I'm not actually... well, I suppose we'll have a look. I don't think I've actually had the stormtroopers... in a long while. I tend to play on usually fairly backward nations to begin with, so I tend not to get the sort of last levels of tech all that often. Oh, but there we go, so there's the stormtroopers. And rubber discovered in Lindy. Well, there we go. That's very handy. Right, so I wanted to have a look at the mobilization. So is that the chemical weapons flamethrower? Ah, right, so it's not mobilizing option. It is just, you know, a base bonus for the troops. Okay, I bet that makes life a little bit easier, I would say. We do also have the... well, we've got a lot of peasants in here. But if we have a look at the 2nd Colonial Army, how much troops do we actually have? 6 battalions right now. I'm just going to go ahead and get another 4 down here. And toss those to the supper list. So we're going to have a nice 10 battalion army from there. It ain't much. But it'll do for now. And there we go, we're exactly 400 million in GDP. I do actually wonder, in terms of GDP... and well, actually the power blocks, all blocks, we do actually have more GDP than the British Empire, so yeah. The difference, like, I actually have almost as much GDP as the entire British Empire combined, which is a little bit silly. Unfortunately, I do not have the ability to invite anyone into the thing. Oh, well, there we go, the homie actually left. Well, it would be a shame. Oh, you're in the French market now. Got defensive pact, you still got embassy, you've got troops with the French. So part of the French Empire, so if I was to... oh, right, so are you... hold on a minute. You're a French protectorate. I see. I don't take kindly to that sort of treachery. So we'll have to figure out what we're going to do there. I'm also thinking, so we are probably going to let the infamy drop down a little bit first before we do more conquest. And then what I'll probably do is I'll conquer this area. We currently have, I think, 4 subjects, yeah. So what I'm thinking, I might actually subjugate one of the nations over here in Ethiopia, and then just help them conquer the rest of the area. So that would help us at least reduce the problems there. Well, I wouldn't really call them problems, I suppose, but... you know, unify the region as much as possible. And then potentially even push a little bit into Arabia for them. Or get another subject in Arabia. Ooh, paved roads is spreading. Well, there we go. We're also now researching the military aviation. So in 18 months, we can start building some of the war machine industries. Which is going to allow us to get the airplanes. We'll probably need quite a bit of the plane production. And then, of course, we'll be getting the... concrete fortifications and then mobile armor, and that allows us to have fairly decent armies, I would assume. Oh, there we go. Progress to voting already, the last is fair. So there's still a little bit of production text that we also need to get. So we did get the pasteurization, which actually reminds me. Let's have a look at the buildings then, shall we? And in particular... where's the millet farm? Ah, right. I own none of the farms. I know why then. Oh, right, I should probably get this better trading laws in here. That might help a little bit. Oh, an urban centre. Right, well, I don't think I need to worry about that too much. Hold on a bit. Right, fishing wharves. Let's get the refrigerated rail cars. Or maybe just the refrigerated storage, even. That would... because this is 2,000 per fishing wharf. It's going to be quite a bit of peasants. I don't think it's actually going to be able to go on all of them. Oh, actually, no, it does. We could probably do the same with the whaling stations. That's pretty good. And maybe try to get the electric trains. It's not actually entirely profitable everywhere, but I'm sure that that still helps. And then the logging camps. Can we get the electric sawmills? Well, maybe a few more. Ooh, right. Let's get the airship mooring post. I forgot about that one. Oh, and Norway's having another revolt there in the meanwhile. As they do. Right, with the changes in the production methods, GDP did take a small drop there, but it's nothing massive. And our standard of living is now 22.2. I mean, it's pretty good. Even the lowest strata's average is almost 20, which is actually fairly impressive. I will say we got a population of 65 million, which is not quite as high as it was before we started forming the colonies down here in Africa. But it is not that far from it. It's like a difference of about 4 million. Which, considering that we are increasing our population by about 700,000 per year, we'll get past that soon enough. No, secession in Finland. Why is this uprising about? Anarchist commune. Okay. So it is. You see, the Finns just want to get left alone. Right, so we're currently at 43, almost 44 million in cash reserves. That's pretty decent. I think we could probably go ahead and build a little bit more construction sectors, though. Let's have a look. Is there a lot of unemployed somewhere? There's quite a bit in Brandenburg, actually. But not too many elsewhere. And then peasants, let's have a look. Our first got quite a bit. That doesn't really have the infrastructure in there. Actually, maybe I could build a bit of infrastructure in there, then. Yeah, let's build a railway. That'll probably help. And then let's continue on with searching for more of these. Also, how's the... yeah, no, the innovation is already sorted out. It won't really go any higher. Realistically speaking, so there is... well, Equatoria, Greenland could have a construction sector. I don't think that's necessarily a good idea in there. It could have it, but I think we're going to pass on that one. There isn't really that much free workforce right now to really increase the construction speed too much. I mean, there's maybe a little bit possibility of increasing it, but honestly, I don't think we really should do that right now. And there we go. The infamy is down to 93. I think we're going to have to let it go below 90 at least before we do any future wars. Or further wars. Oh, and there we go. We've got Laissez Faire. Right, so forced privatization. Establish companies by purchase. Oh... Right, so we can form other things without having to... Okay. And then capitalist contribution and shopkeepers investment pool contribution efficiency goes up. We get a lot more dividends, although I suppose we don't own quite as much things anymore, I guess. Loan interest rate is going to be reduced. We get another company, actually. So what do we want to form up right now? Ooh, Westphalia Premium Motor. That wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. That would also improve the war machine industries, now that I think of it. So that is, oh, right, so that's the formation speed that is that what we get from there. But just in general, increasing the motor industry's productivity would be actually pretty decent. We could go for the electric industry, or electric company instead. I think there is also... Halske. Power plant building throughput. Oh, that's not a bad one either, actually. I might go for that one. Rheinmetall, we've got... Oh, right, we've got Krupp, but we don't have Rheinmetall. Railroads. Paper company. Home goods syndicate. German steel. The construction efficiency would go up even further. Migration extraction, I mean, that's not necessarily a terrible idea either. Grade fellowship. Fisher Guild of Iceland. More convoys and shipbuilding throughput. Africa, that's more... Oh. That would improve the Navy, and it would give us still the motor industries throughput and the shipyards and the military shipyards. That wouldn't be too bad. There's, of course, the mineral combine, which increases fertilizer building throughput. Steel mills, supply consumption. Okay. Army offense. I think we're still going to go probably for one of the ones up here. I think the power plant building throughput is actually something that we do really need. So I'm going to go and establish Siemens and Halsk. That's going to cost us 2 million. But that's still going to be a lot of profitability on the long run. And also, now that the construction cost is mostly covered by the... oh yeah, there we go. We're getting 200,000 per week right now. We are going to have a lot of money. And secondly, the construction speed is... kind of insane right now. Unfortunately, we can't go for the arc welded buildings. That would be probably the end goal here. Maybe we'll go ahead and queue that up after the things that we've done in here. Oh, is that the... No, it's not the paved road, is it? No, that's probably in production, actually. Yeah, the arc welding. We're not getting anything in production right now, so yeah, we'll queue that one up so we can get the faster ship building as well as the arc welded buildings in construction to increase the construction speed even further. Even though the private sector now covers even higher portion of the cost for construction, we're still getting basically the same amount of money into the investment pool as we were getting before. Actually, even more than that right now. So it's a little bit insane, very silly. And, yeah, quite effective. I suppose, you know what, we're just going to go out and build another few construction sectors in Westphalia. There we go, that should be done soon enough. And we're actually getting another power plant as well. Right, so how is our market looking at this point after all of that? We are actually needing a bit more silk. Because we do produce some of the silk domestically, so I'm not too worried about that. We do still need a lot of engines. Which actually, let me just double check. We'll probably switch all of them already, but I'm just going to double check the motor industries to make sure that they are actually using the electric engines. Ah, right, I can't actually change it. So which ones do not have that then? Ah, right, Eastern Mali doesn't have. We can't change that one. German C9 doesn't have one either, okay. I think that might actually be the only one then. Let's go and build a bit of a power plant in here then, shall we? Shouldn't take too long. It might also pull a bit more workers to live in C9. I mean, we've got level 3 motor industries. I mean, it is subsidized at least, so they do produce a lot in there. I'm sure that that is actually pulling a decent bit of workers. Well, it probably did bring a decent bit of workers here at one point. Not necessarily that much anymore. But yeah, so we are still above 90 infamy. The economy is through the roof. There's definitely not enough construction going on right now. Although I suppose we did just get another decent chunk of construction, I think. Oh, what's this then? Tallinn uprising. Oh. Right, so Britain's going to be busy over there. I do actually wonder, is Tripolitania... They don't have any diplomatic deals, so I could potentially just conquer that. How much would it cost me? Infamy-wise. 2 infamy. Okay, that's not too much. Oh, I suppose I could do. I could try to make them a protectorate. And then conquer Tripoli for them. Maybe. Maybe even Tunis. Just to have them, you know, a nice continuous area here. And we could get that extra subject. It's not necessarily a terrible idea. Mining accidents. We're going to support the trade unions briefly here. Although actually, yeah, we did get the laissez faire. So yeah, let's make sure that we don't lose the throughput, or manufacturing industry throughput. Plus 10% over there. And actually, we've lost off the interest groups. I think we've lost another one. Well, how many do we have? No, it's Rule, Folk, and Church, right, so those haven't been influential for a while. Everyone else is still active. We still got really good not infamy, legitimacy. I mean, I suppose we do have fairly high infamy as well. Almost the same number, even. Starting to get to the point where the graduate taxation would actually not be that much of a loss in terms of money. Plus the fact that we're getting 200,000 per week right now. I think I'm actually going to go ahead and remove that consumption tax on the porcelain. We're still making about 130,000 per week, but that's not quite as massive, so we don't actually just completely run out of stuff. And investment port is, oh boy, 86 million already. That is, it's quite a bit, actually. We had an agitator die, alright then. Oh, and some bundling finally passed away, okay. It's been around for a long while. Oh. Uniting the people and a person. German Empire united under our rule. Degenerates and dissidents alike from our fractured predecessors have been drawn to our country. Karl Ludwig von Habsburg now seeks to make German Empire his home. Who is that? Agitator in general, in exile. Sure. I guess we get another general. And a Habsburg, I guess. Oh, what's this? Return state in Central America? Ah, right. We're having a bit of war over there. Grab a little bit of the land. Now, how's our relation with Austria? I think we are still trying to improve relations with them. It's actually still, well, it's still at least increasing. The attitude is still, of course, pretty bad because of the infamy. and they view me as a natural enemy. So I don't think we'll get them as an ally anytime soon. But that's fine, as long as we can keep them slightly more indifferent towards us. Oh, rubber discovered in Uganda. Well, that's pretty good. So there's still these three small nations over here, and then of course all of this. I think what we'll do is we'll go for the Tripolitania right now. We'll try to get them as a protectorate. Frankly, they might even accept... I mean, Occitania might support them. Might, but of course there's no guarantee. But yeah, so we'll go that. We'll go ahead and send... Oh! Right now, oh, right now I haven't recruited all the troops here yet. I'm pretty sure the barracks have been built, but they just haven't mobilized enough. Or, you know, recruited enough, rather. We'll send a small army in there. If there's no one else joining in on this one, then we'll be fine. And again, we're just going to turn them protectorate. We're going to then try to expand them into Tripoli, maybe even Tunis. So we're going to have a nice little area over here. And it's also going to allow us to, you know, move through the Sahara in here. And that might be handy. It also gives us a bit more presence in the Mediterranean. Having a port or something like that in here is probably not a terrible idea. Even though we can't really build a navy in there, mind you, but that's beside the point. But we can base a navy there at least. And they're back down. Aha, and we got the maintained subjects. So we've got now 5. We've got 7% of the world's population within the German Empire. Or under the German Empire, and we do not have the alliances, so we need to have alliances with major powers, but we've got such a high infamy that that's probably not going to happen. Right, Tripoli. Could I now go ahead and... I could potentially conquer them. But let's actually have a look at the subjects real quick. So we've got colonies, except Senegal is a dominion. Mauritania is a protectorate. I can't turn them into a puppet quite yet. I suspect that their liberty desire will be dropping fairly quickly. Is there something I could actually do? I could support the regime. That would reduce our legitimacy a little bit, which I don't know if I want to do. Oh, Banjar left the... Okay. We didn't damage in relations? Well, that's not good. Oh, well, there we go. There. Oh, no, it is actually still increasing the liberty desire. Although, our prestige... It's about 4,000 times higher than this. Alright then. They are quite dependent on our economy, mind you. Oh right, the infamy is, well, hindering things, let's just say. I guess we'll just let the infamy drop down a little bit further. Now, how's the... Oh right, we've got 1,900 construction. The investment port is still... Oh man, still increasing 500,000 per week. That's quite a bit. I mean, they do purchase a decent bit of the buildings that we build, so it's not necessarily increasing that much in size, actually, the investment pool. It might actually be going down right now. But it does mean that our gold reserves are just, well, let's just say that we're going to be hitting our gold reserve limit, after which it's going to be increasing a bit slower. And there we go, we've got 420 million already in GDP. I don't know, well, I suppose it's 1922, so we've still got about 13 years. And a bit extra. 13 and a half years. So, that does mean that we might be able to get at least well over 500,000, or 500 million, sorry. With the, I mean, especially if we just increase the construction speed further. A big problem might be that the population growth might not be able to hold on, I mean, unless we can start... Let's have a look at the political movements again. There's got to be something that is pushing for open borders or something. Let's see, that would maybe a liberal movement? No, is it socialist? They would want to get the right wage subsidies and whatnot. But none of that. So there's a socialist movement, so that's... Yeah, it's not having an impact on the borders. Royalists are just wanting to keep the monarchy on. Reactionary movement, no, I suppose they like everything. Radical movement, anything in here? They would want to change the, or change us away from monarchy, which is not necessarily a terrible thing. But no, what about liberals? Not really anything there either. Labour? They would want these. They would want to switch the economic system, but I kind of like the laissez-faire, I'll be honest. They would want to change the taxation as well, mind you. And then in feminist, it's just the right of women, and then fascist movement, that's... probably not something that we want to do. I think it would be a step back quite a bit. and all of that. Oh, they might want single party save, which I don't think I want to do that. Yeah, so I think there's not really any movements that we honestly need to support right now. And none of them would really allow us to push for the lesser migration controls. The only group that is actually supporting the... Oh, actually, yeah, no one's supporting the no migration controls right now. There's a lot of groups that oppose it, but none of them support it. There's some that are indifferent towards it, but that's about it. So we're just a little bit out of luck on that one, I suppose. Right, Two Sicilies hasn't increased too much yet. I do actually wonder... Ooh, let's just take on their debt, shall we? And then... There we go. Is there anything that I could do? I could form a defensive pact with them. Or I could request the embassy. I can't form an alliance with them. I'm going to request the embassy, I think. I'll use the obligation. That way we can keep their relations pretty good. Yeah, it is actually increasing. But that's going to be hitting... I think it's going to be going all the way to 100 relations then. I don't think it can go any higher than that. But yeah, so they do desire me as an ally, I suppose, but since they don't have the multilateral alliances, they can't get that one. Right, German Senegal... Knowledge opposing German Empire's unification candidate for Germany. Okay. Oh, the Defiant. Is that so? You know, I'm just going to bankroll them for a moment. Maybe that'll change their mind. Now that we're at a laissez-faire capitalist system, money can solve many problems, let's just say. In the meanwhile, standard of living is already 22.6. How close is the closest one on the list here? Navarra at 19.3, so that's... the difference about 3 points there. And then there's a Swiss at 19.1, and then after that is Occitania at 18.1. So yeah, I think we've got a fairly good standard of living overall. I mean, actually, if we have a look at the standard of living map mode, yeah, we can see that Germany's looking pretty good. The Prussia and all that are not quite as good, but Germany proper is really good. Britain's got a decent areas, especially like England's looking pretty good. And then France, especially Occitania's got some good areas there. And if you have a look at things like Russia, it's pretty bad. And China. A decent chunk of Africa as well is pretty bad. But the areas that we control... Oh, speak of the devil. Areas we control, Congo, well, they found a bit more oil there. So the areas that are under the German Empire are at least relatively wealthy, because they can get the benefit from our massive market. Also, Argentina is actually pretty wealthy over there. Or pretty high standard of living. USA is not too bad either, although they have nothing to do with me. And then, oh right, Iceland and Greenland are also massive. I think the highest point, it might well be Brandenburg with 25. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Right, was there anything here? No, there's a lot of various... oh right, the military playing Gran Colombia. Venezuela as a protectorate, oh. Right, well they are getting support from Brazil, Netherlands, Belgium. So this could turn into a kind of interesting war. And if need be, I could probably give someone like... Actually, no, I can't do that yet. The Netherlands, I could probably give a bit of a hand. Though they don't like me. We are trying to keep the relations at least somewhat good. I could bankroll them, perhaps. As I said, bankrolling can fix a lot of issues along the way. Now, let's go and see if there's any embassy. Oh, Dutch East Indies, yes. Let's... no, that's Warzengali. Dutch East Indies. Let's get an embassy in there. Persia is also... If we give them an obligation, we can get embassy in there. That way we can maybe get a little bit more influence around the world. And perhaps try to keep some... Oh, right, yeah, the French Empire has all of Sumatra. Or almost all of Sumatra. The Dutch East Indies, I mean, they've still got a decent chunk of land, but they could be bigger, admittedly. Ooh, empty pockets. Reactionary movement. Well, it's fine if they lose some more influence. Getting rid of some of the political movements that don't really benefit us at this point anymore. So we've got about 250,000 radicals. We've got 41 million loyalists, considering that's about 2/3 of the entire population are loyalists. So I think the situation in our nation, a glorious empire, is pretty good. I'm sure it could be better, mind you, but it's good enough, in my opinion. We don't need to try to min-max everything. Now, one thing that I might want to do, just to be on the safe side, let's have a look at the armies. Especially things like the main army, because we've got a fairly high-level general in here. I'm going to go ahead and increase the army size a little bit. We'll get the infantry increased by a little bit. We can probably use Brandenburg, actually. Because we've got some peasants in there, I think. So that's going to be a bit more infantry. We'll get a couple more artillery. And then another lancer, I guess. And then, actually, we'll get another 5 infantry in Brandenburg. So there we go. That's going to be a total of 40 battalions now. 25 of which are infantry, then 10 artillery and 5 cavalry. I think that's going to be fairly decent setup there. And we're almost ready to start building the military aviation, or the war machine industries. That's going to be a glorious day. However, that will probably have to be tomorrow, actually, since I do see that we are steadily approaching the end of this one. So if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe if you haven't already, or check out the links down below in the description. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.